Teacher talking sports, what does, what do, how we live in. And then there was tomorrow begins the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Four teams remaining in both the AFC and NFC. So, as I've been doing all season, I'll be doing my picks against the spread. Of course, just four games this weekend during the regular season. I went 11 games over 500. Last season actually went over 30 games over 500. The postseason 3-3. In the wild card round, went 8-5 in last season's postseason. So hoping to have at least that same amount of success. Of course, not easy to pick when all the teams, of course, remaining are very good in their own rights, but I'll do my best. So, spreads are taken from DraftKings Sportsbook, and they were as of 3:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Um, let's take a look at my picks, starting with the two Saturday games. So, divisional round picks. We got the first game is tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We got the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, the Chiefs really only lost one game if you don't count the last game where they played pretty much their reserves throughout the lineup. The Houston Texans struggled mightily to end the regular season to the point that Rex Ryan said on air, excuse me, that the Chargers essentially have a bye in the opening week of the playoffs, the wild card round. Well, the Chargers are not in the divisional round, but the Texans are. So took his words as motivation. And the Chiefs just were involved in so many close games throughout the season. That's been well documented. They found a way to win them all pretty much. So, in me picking the Texans, I am not saying that the Texans are going to win. I certainly don't think they will win, but I expect it to be a one score game. The Texans have enough of a pass rush between Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. to at least make Mahomes' life miserable at times. But, in the end, I do think the Chiefs find a way to win the game. But Texans cover the spread. This was a challenging one because I've been on Jaden Daniels' bandwagon for much of the season. This game is at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Lions favored by 8.5 at home against those Washington Commanders. The Lions have just been awesome all season long. It's crazy because, their defensive injuries looks like, you know, um, it's just substantial how many injuries they have on the defensive end. Yet they keep ticking, keep winning. Their offense is stellar. Jameer Gibbs, definitely one of the top backs in the league already, and it's looking like David Montgomery should be back for the game as well. Commanders not necessarily good defensive team, and I just think the Lions are able to score 30 plus on them and cover the spread. But shout out to Jaden Daniels, shout out to the Commanders. Excellent season post Dan Snyder. Now let's look at the two Sunday games. So the first game, Eagles Rams, games in Philadelphia. That game is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. I've been going with the Eagles a lot especially the second half of the season, to end the season, although I did not go with them. In the postseason, my reasoning was that the Packers have had, even though they've lost all the games to the better teams in the NFC. Pretty much every one of them was close. I was kind of thinking the same. Didn't turn out that way. Um, it didn't help that from the start, the Packers were behind the eight ball. But anyhow, I do think the Eagles can find a way to win this game by at least a touchdown and an extra point. Just too much on the offensive end. Maybe Jalen Hurts looks for A.J. Brown more after that viral, his reading a book on the sideline came out. And their defense is just awesome. Quinion Marshall and Cooper DeJean, what a tandem as rookie secondary members. So Eagles win. And of course, probably the game of the weekend. Um, Ravens at Bills. Bills are the only underdog home team of the four, but very close to a pick 'em. Just a 1.5 point spread. And, definitely the two teams that have looked like the biggest challengers to the Chiefs really all season for that AFC crown. Two quarterbacks who are the two favorites to win MVP, and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Two defenses that have been hit or miss, but I feel like they've been more hit of late. Bills, since that Rams game, have played improved on the defensive end. It really could be a toss up. Maybe if these two teams play 10 times, each of them win five apiece. So very difficult to pick. Again, a pick 'em. So since it's basically a pick 'em, I'm going with the home team. Part of me just thinks, and I could be wrong, I just feel like Josh Allen is due for a Super Bowl appearance now. Obviously, you could say the same for Lamar Jackson. Of course, he's a two-time MVP, hasn't reached the Super Bowl, but a lot of heartaches for the Bills in recent years. Of course, a lot of heartaches in the early 1990s. But yes, the Bills, um, it's going to be a crash, a collision with the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs have basically owned them in the postseason. Bills have owned them in the regular season. Would be an extremely fun matchup. I'm ahead of myself right now because the Bills obviously have a difficult game on Sunday, and I'm saying it with not full certainty, but I do think the Bills, due to being at home, I'm going with the home team. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. But let me know in the comments which picks you agree with, which you disagree with. What are some of your best bets for the weekend? Let's hope for four exciting playoff games. Some of them were exciting last weekend. Others were not as much so, and that's really what us as NFL fans should be hoping for, especially me as a Giants fan. Obviously, I've known that my team season's been over since like I don't know week 3. But anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.